Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Thanks, Allan. This is David Brower with your 20-minute podcast. Our special guest today is Rocky Rosen, the cigarette whisperer, and he describes himself as having been a diehard, got to quit, can't quit, must quit, won't quit, desperate to quit, tried everything there is to quit, never going to quit smoker, who has helped many, many people stop smoking over the years. I can relate to every single one of those. Welcome, Rocky. Glad to have you on the show.
Well, I'm humbled. Nice to be here.
So, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been recognized as the cigarette whisperer?
Well, the cigarette whisperer is a new nickname. In the last few years, it's one of the physicians who calls me that. Well, I've been helping people stop smoking since 1991. I'm off cigarettes since 1987. I never dreamt this would be a calling for me, but it has been. And
nice.
My calling is to help people who wish they didn't smoke.
What a gift, man.
I'm not anti-smoking. I'm not against smokers. I hate the way smokers are treated. I don't care if people smoke or not. I care deeply if they wish they didn't smoke.
Yeah. You were on the doctors a couple of years ago, and I watched that video this morning. And it was, first of all, wonderful exposure for you, wonderful success for Shelley. I watched her pre-interview with her primary care physician, and that girl was in trouble. And And then on the show, you had her off cigarettes for 3 days, and her body language, the glow in her face, I mean, it was like 180 degrees. That was crazy impressive.
Well, what's amazing about it is how quickly things turn around when you're a smoker, too, when you're an ex-smoker.
Yeah.
The benefits that are so huge, they're also so very subtle for people.
Yeah.
And my job is to help you remember what the benefits are. And it's really simple what I do. It's a 4-day program. It takes 6 hours over 4 consecutive days. I teach people how to use the urge to smoke as the way to stop instead of always trying to fight and ignore those urges. You know, there are 2 big lies about quitting smoking. Lie number 1, I gotta quit. Lie number 2, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And when people pick up the phone and call me, that's usually what's on their mind. I got to quit. I don't want to do this. And I just kind of let them know right away, the truth isn't that you have to quit. You don't have to quit. You've been telling yourself for years you have to quit. Now, you may hate yourself, your health may suffer, and cigarettes may take you out in a way you can't dream about being taken out. But you got free will. You can smoke anytime you want to. And one of the things my clients do, even if they stop smoking, is they'll still carry cigarettes with them. So they always know they've got the choice to smoke or not to smoke. It's when we don't have cigarettes, when we're a smoker, that we drive ourselves batty.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Yeah.
And lie number 2, I don't want to smoke anymore. Now, you told me earlier that you're an ex-smoker, too. You're off cigarettes since 1980.
September 16th, 1980, but who's counting? That's right.
Ever get any urges to smoke? Ever?
Oh, my gosh. I quit 100 times. Since then? No.
You've never had an urge, I feel like having a cigarette, or a cigarette would taste good right now. Okay, well, you're the rare exception. You see, the truth about people like me, and those of us who've gotten addicted, I mean, that's you too, isn't that we don't want to smoke. The real truth is we do want to smoke. We just don't want to suffer the consequences. If there's no consequences to smoking, we never would quit.
Right, that's right.
But there are. The consequences are many. There are a plethora of consequences, whether it be smoking or vaping. You know, a couple of things I try to educate people on very quickly is, and this goes for vapors too, is, do you know what nicotine is?
I have no clue.
The tobacco industry has been brilliant hiding the truth about nicotine in dictionaries. What nicotine truly is it's valued as an insecticide. It's one of the most lethal substances found on Earth. And when a person is smoking or vaping or chewing nicotine gum or wearing the patches, all they're doing all day long is insecticiding themselves.
Oh, my God.
And smokers and vapors, you wonder why your throat feels raw. You wonder why your chest feels tight. You wonder why you just feel a little bit crappy. It's because you're constantly insecticiding yourself. For all the good you're doing, you might as well be spraying a little squirt of hot ray down the back of your throat.
My goodness.
So
I do remember the scratchy throat. I absolutely do remember that, yeah.
Of course, we all do. And then I want to talk about, real quick, the most evil brand of cigarettes in America. And that's the brand, the American Spirits. And the reason why they're the most evil brand is they try to convince people we're not as bad as the other guys, when they are equally as bad as any other brand out there.
Wow.
You know, they brag about how they don't have any additives. Well, you take a pure leaf of tobacco with no additives and you ignite it, and it breaks down to over 4,000 different compounds get released. Of those 4,000 compounds, you get things like arsenic, cyanide, benzene, ammonia, formaldehyde, fiberglass. There's even minute amounts of plutonium-210, minute amounts of radioactive material get released when you ignite tobacco. And this is where epidemiologists believe the cancers originate from these free radical radioactive materials circulating in your bloodstream, gets caught in an organ, irradiates it, changes its cellular structure, and a cancer's formed. You know.
Yeah, and it just wants to be fed, right?
And that addict, it just can't. If you can't feed is enough. It's the itch that can't get scratched.
Yeah.
You know, if I were talking to a smoker, I would ask them, in your life, who or what comes first? And oftentimes they'll tell me, my family, my job, my kids, God, anything. And they're wrong. What comes first in a smoker's life are their cigarettes.
Yep.
And they never gave them permission to be more important than family and God to them. And I always say cigarettes are shaped perfectly. I hope I can go a little R-rated.
Of course.
But cigarettes are just little pricks that want to hurt you. You love them, they don't even know you exist.
Yeah.
And what I do is I flip that for people. When a person calls me, they call me because they're disappointed with themselves for smoking, but they love their cigarettes. I flip that. I teach them how to get really comfortable with their urges and how to really come to hate cigarettes.
Wow. I remember that was my thing when I was smoking. It was like, oh man, I know I need to quit, but hey, I love the taste of my cigarettes.
Actually, that's not altogether true.
Yep.
What you love is not having the urge to smoke.
Right.
Do you want to know why people smoke? Do you want to know the only reason
Yes,
why
please.
people
Yeah.
smoke? They smoke to make the urge to smoke go away.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's the only reason why people smoke. I teach them how to use that urge instead of always trying to fight it and ignore it.
So you literally flip it, because you're right. Any of us who have smoked before or smoke right now are really familiar with this conversation of, yeah, I like my cigarettes. Yeah, I think I can quit, but I'm going to wait. Yeah, I'm just going to have one more. Yeah, and on and on, right?
Well, I always tell my clients, now is never a good time to quit smoking. Yeah. The truth is, with everything going on in their lives, this is probably not the optimum time. But there will never be a good time. There will always be a reason why now is not a good time.
Exactly.
And since there's never a good time, there never really is a bad time. And since there's never really a bad time, now is the best time. Because I can guarantee you a smoker will never have the opportunity to stop smoking this young, this healthy ever again.
Yeah.
And as I always say, you get to fight for your life now, or you get to fight for your life later, your choice.
Right. I remember my mom, she started smoking when she was 5. She would follow my grandfather in the potato fields, and he would roll his own cigarettes, drop the still lit butt in the furrow of the potatoes, and she would follow behind him and smoke. And she smoked a couple of packs easily a day until she was 68 and had a stroke. And then she quit cold turkey because the doctors told her to, and she did it. But
how long did she live after that?
4 years.
She's still alive. 4 years.
Yeah. Esophageal cancer took her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. George Harrison.
Yep.
Humphrey Bogart. Your mother. Lung cancer took my mother. I've been helping people stop smoking for 4 years before Mom died. I always say about Mom, she finally stopped smoking right after her ashes cooled. That's horrible, but...
No, I understand. Yeah. Wow.
But that's just the truth.
So you've been doing this for a while, and how many people do you feel you've touched in a ballpark?
4 figures.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number.
Right. And how do people find you?
Through their doctor, through word of mouth, through somebody who stopped with me, through me doing some of these shows.
Right.
You can go to RockyRosen.com. You can YouTube Rocky Rosen. You can see what doctors say about me and former clients say about me.
Yeah, the stuff on when you Google your name or Google the Cigarette Whisperer, there is tons and tons of information there, folks, that you can check out and go, oh yeah, this guy's beyond credible. So it's important to do your homework, and Rocky's obviously had great success.
And I always do a free consultation. There's no pressure. There's no obligation.
Nice.
And usually the free obligation takes about 2 hours. All you need to do, if we're not in the same city, is just be on the phone and have access to the internet and do a PowerPoint presentation.
Nice.
And the best way to get in touch with me, I mean, I'm very approachable, is may I give my phone number?
Sure, of course.
And I'll give it now, and I'll give it at the end of this.
Sounds good.
Talk to me directly. My number is 818-961-6978.
818-961-6978.
Mm-hmm.
So on TV, you see, I think probably the only thing I remember recently in the last few years is Shantix really promoting how to quit, right? And so my son and his wife both tried that. She had zero success with it. For whatever reason he did. He hasn't smoked in 5 years. But how do you feel about that kind of stuff?
Well, what happens is eventually you're going to go off the pill, and the urge, you're going to get another urge. You won't know what to do with it. That's one. But two, Chantix, if you watch the commercial, is about 10, 15 seconds of happy, 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 and then 45 seconds of cautionary tales of what Chantix can do.
Exactly.
Hallucinatory dreams, thoughts of suicide, homicide. It's a very scary drug. But, hey, I don't care how anybody stops. Any way you stop is the best way in the world. And I'll tell all your listeners right now, do you want to know the entire secret to quitting smoking?
You bet.
Don't take the next hit.
There you go.
Don't take the next hit of nicotine. You see, stopping is ridiculously simple, but it's just not easy.
Yeah.
And I take that really simple concept and I make that really doable for my clients.
So, I mean, because our brains, I guess, and you know this better than I, but our brains are very reactionary. I mean, if I'm going to say, okay, I'm just going to take one more hit, my subconscious is going, yeah, right.
I've yet to meet an addict who can get away with just having one hit without having another hit. Exactly.
And
not everybody who smokes is addicted.
Oh, that's interesting.
There are social smokers. There are people who can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I was a social smoker, but then I crossed that invisible line where I didn't care if my friends were around or not. I want a freaking cigarette.
Right.
And I got addicted. But there are people who smoke for years who go, you know what, this just isn't serving me. They just seem to be able to walk away from it.
Wow.
Painlessly. I don't know how. That's just not my experience.
Right. I remember that was the hardest thing for my son when he was 22. And he came up to me and just basically was so ashamed and told me that he smoked. And I'm going, okay. And that bothers you because, well, I know I'm just disappointing you, Dad. I'm going, no, you're not. This isn't about me. This is not about me.
Good for you.
You know?
Because it isn't. It's between the smoker and the smoker.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they have any sort of religious or spiritual side, then it's between them and their God and themselves.
That's exactly right. Absolutely.
And nobody else.
And nobody else. Yeah. My experience was interesting. I mean, everybody has a story. You mentioned faith in God and stuff, and I've always felt that the reason I quit was a God thing or a guardian angel thing or whatever. I'm in a press box in southern Washington, getting ready to do a semifinal state championship football game, play-by-play, and my buddy Dave is there with me. He's a Vietnam vet, totally disabled, carries oxygen. His line was, my doctor makes me smoke, otherwise I'll die. And I'm going, yeah, whatever. And so we're getting set up for the game, setting up the equipment. Nobody's there in the stands yet. And I'm doing that rationale thing, right? I look over at Dave and I say, hey, man, I've been doing so good on quitting cigarettes. Can I have one of yours? Right? I'm rewarding myself. Well, right then, this little old lady stands up on the top bleacher, turns around, looks in the press box, and I'm 5 hours from home, right? And she says, "Are you David Brower?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She says, how's that quitting cigarettes thing working for you?
Gotcha.
And I'm going, okay, I'm done. And that's when I quit.
Well, you see, and I never use that language, I quit. The 3 words in the English language I hate the most are I quit smoking.
Okay.
The 4 words I hate the most are I must quit smoking.
Right.
I don't teach people how to quit smoking. I teach people how to get out of a very evil relationship. See, smoking isn't smoking. Smoking's a relationship. It's
that
a
makes
commitment.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's the most intimate relationship a smoker has because their cigarettes are with them during every success and failure, during every happiness and sadness, and every boredom.
It's your go-to. It's your go-to.
And so it's about getting free. It's not about quitting. When I go, I quit smoking, then what my brain says, I never can smoke again, and I begin to obsess. But if I could just say, you know what, screw cigarettes. I've got 31 years. I've never gone. I quit smoking.
So what do you say when somebody says, so did you quit smoking? And you come back with,
I haven't smoked in a lot of years.
Yeah. That's usually, now that you say that out loud, that's usually what I say. I say September 16th, 1980, but who's counting? So
isn't that amazing how significant that date really is to you?
Yeah, it really
and
is.
That's what I really try to impress upon my clients. The day 3 with me is their Independence Day. It's the date they get to proclaim their emancipation.
I got to tell you, if you watch Shelley on that doctor's program, and you can find it easily on YouTube or Google it or whatever, and you look at the way she was sitting with her primary care physician, her legs were tight, her hands were twitching, she wasn't smiling, she was flushed, she was frustrated, she didn't know what to do next. And then you cut to Shelley on the stage with the doctors. Okay, I'm on national TV, I'm freaking out. No, she's calm, she's relaxed, she's composed, her skin color was brilliant, she was smiling, she was radiating. Oh my God.
And she's still free.
Awesome.
I'm what one of my clients likes to call me the fixer. I don't know if you remember the movie Pulp Fiction.
I do, sure.
But Harvey Keitel plays a short pivotal role in it.
Yeah.
When Travolta and Jackson make a huge bloody mess, they call him in, he cleans up the mess and he splits. And that's exactly what I do for my clients. I come in, I clean up this mess, and I split. But I split with a caveat, and that caveat is that my clients know that I'm going to be there for them 24/7.
Nice.
It isn't just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, goodbye, good luck. You've got a coach, you've got somebody in your corner on a 24/7 basis.
And what a gift that has to be to realize there's a safety net, for lack of a better term. Somebody's got my back if I have a slip up.
Well, the idea is to call me before you have a slip up.
There you go.
Slide back, I always ask my clients, how many more times in your life do you want to quit smoking? I never want to feel like I need to quit smoking ever again.
Yeah.
And I didn't begin to help anybody get smoke-free until I had 3 years off cigarettes. Like I said, I never dreamt I would wind up in this field. But fortunately, I've garnered an excellent reputation, and I work very, very hard for my clients. And I'm very approachable. I'm just a guy trying to help other people who wish they didn't smoke.
Rocky, I can't. Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It is Rocky. I had a brain fart there for a minute.
That's okay. You can call me anything you want.
So we're about out of time here, but I want to thank you, Rocky Rosen, the Cigarette Whisperer. You can check him out at rockyrosen.com. You can Google the Cigarette Whisperer and see many of his successes. And you can call him direct, 818-961-6978. Rocky, it's been a real pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Well, congratulations to you on the years you have off. And guys, I really am here for you. If you're having trouble getting off these things, I hope I hear from you.
Great. Have a blessed week. Take care.
Right back at you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Your 20-minute podcast with David Brower has been brought to you by Audible. You can listen to any of David's podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found, including iHeartRadio, the Spotify mobile app, and at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.